How we doing, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Wolf, and welcome to another Path of Exile build progression. I apologize if I sound a little bit, fucked up or anything like that. I am extremely tired. I have just streamed for 13 and a half hours straight, so we're kind of running on fumes at this point. But I want to record the last little bit of stuff I need to do while it's still fresh in my mind before I go and pass out to then go and farm again tomorrow because it's league start, right? So this is my slash played. We're at 12 hours. We are level 73 right now, which currently puts us, I'd say, probably top 5 to 10,000 considering where the most of the player base is at right now. This is day 1, which not bad in my opinion. Yeah, died a decent amount of times. The slash deaths isn't gonna be pretty. Yeah, it's pretty squishy because I have not been resist capped and I've been mapping without resist cap because of stupid gear drops that I've landed. Essentially, I've slightly and or heavily handicapped myself in the resistance department because I have a 5-link day 1 and despair on hit gloves day 1 with literally 0 gear. On top of that, metamorphs are insanely fucking difficult. Like, each metamorph I've died to at least once or twice. They're stupid fucking hard. They're pretty damn insane. As well as messing around with the new atlas, learning new mob types, stuff just appearing out of thin air and clapping me. It's to be expected. All in all, character is clearing swimmingly. Obviously, I still have a lot more to get in regards to like the bow and good itemization, and I don't even have like the right gems in for Scourge arrow right now. I'm just optimized as much as I can get to get Herald of Agony to work and kind of carry me until I actually get gear going. So for the moment, I'm going to do a quick little Blood Aqueducts run just to show you what it's like. I'd love to show you like maps and shit, but essentially all I have is tier 3 maps because of the way the new system works. I'm still figuring it out. I haven't dropped any watchstones, so I can't amp up any of my maps. So tier 3 is the highest I've got right now. So yeah. And I just want to show you something quickly because obviously I want to go into detail on everything and explain it all. And Blood Aqueducts is just pretty satisfying to showcase how the character works, more so than me picking a map and it just being shitty. I've gone for the beach side of the Atlas, and beach maps are really good on this character. Haven't had any real issue. I could do a beach map if I wanted to as well, but I don't want to throw a map away when I'm already, slightly restricted on them. Because when I'm not going to finish the fucking thing, I just want to showcase the gameplay. All in all, character is fantastic, in my opinion. Whole lot of fun and a lot better than I actually expected. Because I dropped the Despair on Hit gloves, it allows me to do a sort of entirely different plan than what I was going to do originally. I was going to have Curse, Blasphemy Despair, which would work pretty decently since I play rather up close with Ranger, kind of unwillingly. It's a mental footnote from playing so much melee. But because of the way the Scourge arrow stuff works, Despair on hit's actually really good. Not only because it buffs the dot damage, etc., etc., but because Scourge arrow's main damage comes from something that happens after the initial hit. So the way it works, right, is you shoot your initial arrow, and then it spawns the spore pods along the path, and the spore pods is where all the damage comes from. That's sort of the thorn arrows they're shooting out. That's where our damage is coming from. So, as a result, what ends up happening is the first arrow that I'm shooting, right, is applying Despair on Hit to whatever I manage to tag, and then the part that's doing all of the damage and all of the dot damage is amplified by the fact that they're already cursed when it applies, which is fantastic for us. As well as another surprise of the day is the Plague Bearer. This is a skill that I saw in Path of Building, and I'm like, okay, this exists, I guess. Sure, we'll throw that on. And it came out in Blight League because they pushed poison stuff and all that sort of stuff. So it's actually really, really fucking good. I didn't expect it to be, or I didn't expect it to be anything of note, but it actually is just about as good, if not better, than Scourge Arrow. Like, it basically banks a percentage of all the poison damage you do up to a cap. And the cap it's got right now is 400k. So you turn it on, and it literally melts everything around it just stupid quickly. Because it just burns through a 400k stack just around you in a circle. So it's really good for bossing, really good for melting pretty much anything, and spectacular for metamorphs, provided you can get in range and not die. Because when metamorphs melee you or something like that, you're going to have a bad time. Now, I do have 80% projectile dodge, but it sure as shit don't feel like it. So, I've been getting clapped by projectiles that I should just flat out dodge, but the game is saying, heh, I don't fucking think so, and then killing me through it. Because of the way I have my skill tree set up. But that's the bit of the gameplay showcase. Itemization, the bow I'm using is fucking trash. I have damage over time and damage with poison, with a bit of poison chance on there. Obviously, you're going to be working towards the fossiled bow. I also dropped fossils that give me more chaos options. Yeah, I dropped aberrant fossils, so I'm going to roll that in tandem with the bleed and poison fossil, and I'm going to see what I get for a bow within the next couple of days. Link setup is Scourge Arrow, Lesser Poison, Mirage, Deadly Ailments. This is fucking horrible. Lesser Poison is only here to get Herald of Agony to actually do things until I get all of my skill tree stuff to cap out my poison chance. Once I get that, I'm going to throw this in the bin and use actual like Link setups and stuff. Helmet, I have Herald of Agony, damage on full life, added fire, vicious projectiles. This is about as good as I'm going to get because using the Malevolence I've got here, 44% reserve, is like I can't put any more supports in this or else I would have no mana left. Which is actually going to be doable later on down the line when I get my Scourge Arrow to cost literally 0. Then I'll be able to put in an extra support in here and have a 5-link Herald of Agony. And that's kind of the main goal, and that should be a pretty good time. But until then, I'm using this setup currently. I dropped a quality damage on full life, and I had a +1 minion helmet for a long time while leveling. Worked out pretty decently. It's just a life and resist piece, even though it needs more resist on it. Necklace is a essence crafted increased chaos necklace. All in all, it's pretty trash, but because of the essence roll that I got for increased chaos damage, I'm using it. It gives attributes, fizz, chaos, resist. All in all, pretty shit, but the chaos damage is cool, and the resist as well. Quiver is literally just life. That's it. I don't know what quiver to use on this. I'm still not sure. I'm just going to be whatever rolls the best. So I need to get resistances badly. So I'm going to just throw on a resistance quiver at some point. But I want a like life quiver that doesn't sacrifice life now that I have something with 87. So that'll be a bit of a struggle. This ring is pretty trash. Cold res, lightning res, not even any life on it. It's got strength, which is half life, but that's absolute garbage. So that's going to get changed within the coming days. Other ring is 2 stone with 14% all res. Going to probably get changed in the coming days as well. Gloves are despair on hit. The rest of the rolls are trash, aside from attack speed. It's despair on hit gloves. I'll take despair on hit for the massive damage bonus and sack the item slot, basically. That's basically how it is right now. I will eventually go and like vol a bunch of pairs of gloves and see if I can manage to land this myself. But I got this in Delve when I was just getting my Delve Sulfite cap up. So I was laughing my ass off. Also, to top things off today, I dropped an Exalt. It's day 1. Yeah. Day 1 of Metamorph, and I have a fucking Exalted Orb in solo self-found. What am I supposed to do with that? I don't know. Chest piece, dropped a 5-link in a corrupted zone in Blood Aqueducts. I was running away from it because I was like, I'm not going to do that. And something called me to it. And I was like, okay, you know, on second thought, I'm going to go do it. And I clear it, and the end boss, the Vol Vessel, drops a fucking 5-link. And I'm like, well, I guess it called me for a reason. It's like when I voided my Comb's Heart. So 77 max life, that's basically it, really. And then 5-link. So I'm going to try and roll this. I need more Vol Orbs to be able to roll it correctly, or like get a better chance at rolling it. So I'm going to figure out how to get more of those. I believe there's a recipe with Vol Gems. We do more vol side areas as well. And yeah, belt, max life, leather belt with resists, needs more resists. I'm willing to take a hit in life to cap my res right now. So at the moment, this is pretty shitty. It can be replaced and be a lot better. I'm looking for a tri-res life belt. I can roll that pretty easily with just spam alching leather belts. I'm starting to build up the stash of like decent implicit leather belts here for when I actually accrue more alks, because you run out of alks pretty quick in SSF. Shoes are actually pretty good. Max life, 20% move speed, res with strength. So roughly about 85 life with move speed, double crafted res. It's okay. Obviously can be better, can get res rolled on it, but for now, that'll last me a while. And that's pretty much my itemization. So in regards to links, I have dash, cast when damage taken, stone golem. I have malevolence and blood rage in here. Blood rage is really good because you want attack speed to charge Scourge arrow. Just keep in mind the way it operates. Watch up here. Is as you draw it, it builds stages. So I want to try and get it to an attack speed where by the time it's finished that animation of drawing back the bow, it's at 5 stacks. Because that's where my brain like is saying, okay, we're at 5 stacks, like shoot this. So I want to get the attack speed to the point where that's actually correct. So at the moment we're at 0.18. I can get more. My infused channeling will give me like attack speed bonuses and damage bonuses and that sort of stuff. Once I get that, we're pretty good. Once I roll attack speed on this, I can get it up to like 171, I want to say, because this doesn't have an attack speed bonus or anything. So that's like the next plan is a god roll thicket bow with 171 and then chaos multipliers and stuff. So that's the big old piece. And then we have cast when damage taken, steel skin in here. This cast when still leveling. I'm catching it up to the steel skin. Then I have plague bearer with AoE support. This doesn't actually give you as much AoE as you might think it does, but it links. It's useful. Might as fucking well. I'm gonna test this with and without and see if it actually makes a difference. But other than that, yeah, it's okay. Skill tree. This is where we're at currently. This is the top side. Make sure my face cam isn't objecting anything. That is top side right there for you. And we are moving down to bottom side as well. We have, just for a few notables, I went down and up to start, grabbed Ballistic Mastery and Aspect of the Eagle while leveling, came up and rushed a Method of Madness. I actually started Caustic Arrow, and it was fucking horrible. Do not take Caustic Arrow for your first skill. Take like Split Arrow and use Onslaught or something until you get Toxic Rain. Once you get Toxic Rain Mirage Archer for leveling, it went pretty swimmingly. Then you switch out Toxic Rain to Scourge Arrow and you just clear the rest of the game. It was insane. Once I put Scourge Arrow on at like 28, I was like, I don't know if I try this or if I just stick to Toxic Rain and keep it like as is. But no, I switched and it was fantastic. So switch to Scourge Arrow the moment you get it pretty much and just clear the rest of the game. So Toxic Rain will work until you get to that point. Do not start with Caustic Arrow. It was horrible, trust me. Get like a big fizz bow and play Split Arrow or Burning Arrow or something. Then I went up, got life, came through here, damage over time there. This 4-point cluster is really good. I should get those. Then you got some life over there. I kind of started getting a life as I was going to do Izaro at the end. So as I was heading into Act 7 to like 10 was when I started to start going to life nodes. Before that, I just took as much damage as possible and corpse ran if I needed to. So got damage over time here, damage over time here. This is probably going to get taken out at some point. I think it's used to cap my poison chance. I don't remember. Acro, phase acro. This is another 10% dodge. So we have 40% chance to dodge attack hits there. And then down at arrow dancing, we have 40% more chance to evade projectiles. So 40%, 40%. We have 80%. It's 75% cutoff though. So there's still a chance you will get hit. To my knowledge anyways. I don't know the exact calculations. But that's basically the best chance you've got at dodging ranged attacks. And you have spell dodge here. Probably going to also use a phasing flask. We'll see what happens there. That or try and get phasing on kill. I have a phasing on kill jewel sat right here. So I want to get a phasing on Kill Jewel that isn't rolled like absolute trash, and then an Onslaught on Kill Jewel. Those should work pretty well. Then put in like an Aziri's Promise and a couple of other things, a Granite Flask as well, a freeze and remove Granite. My Adrenaline rolled on my Mana Flask, by the way. I want to fucking kill myself. Flask-wise, I got Poison, Duration, Quicksilver. I'm Pathfinder, by the way, so like duration doesn't fucking matter because I'm just mashing it like a fucking autistic kid with a piano. So, Quicksilver, Bleed Removal. I still forget to press it and die to bleed. It should probably be on my Panic Flask, but I have yet to roll a raw Panic Flask, so I got this with the last alt that I had when I was Flask rolling. So this has already saved me. It saved me within the first 10 minutes of like making it. So Panic Flask is fantastic for this sort of build a character. And then shitty Onslaught Flask. So optimal is Panic of Staunch, Onslaught / Damage Flask if you get Onslaught elsewhere. Aziri's Promise also. Quicksilver of Bleed or whatever sort of setup you want to do. Damage Flask, then potentially Damage Flask, then Granite or Mana Flask if you need it, and then Quicksilver. Running Mana Flask right now because I don't have any other outs to dealing with a mana situation. If I can get the Betrayal Crafts to take off mana off to just spellcast in general, I can make this free. Play it on a 5 link to probably avoid going up to 18. If I get double 8 crafts for -8 mana total to skills, I can get 8 and 8, right? Which goes up to, I think, 16. Quick math, right? So if I fuck that up, I'm actually gonna, like... Yeah. So if I don't take the mana cost over 16, I can literally make this cost 0, and then put in an extra Herald of Agony bonus, and not have an issue outside of, you know, using other skills, so I may have to leave a little bit of leeway there, but still. Then I don't have to worry about, like, Mana Flask or anything like that. Okay, that's items, skill tree, just a bit of quick recovery for this. Damage, life, damage. This node is actually really good because you need as much attack speed as possible. While leveling, try and make varying levels of attack speed bows. This is actually affected by like base chaos damage, or like base bow damage rather. So a base bow with attack speed is actually good for leveling. So try and make, say, like a fizz base thicket bow with good attack speed, while, you know, getting up to par and loading yourself up with chaos and poison mods. Then you can transfer to the sort of like damage over time bow. So we're making my way towards Golem's Blood and 30 techniques here, and that's pretty much it. Then we pop down here, get Profane Chemistry, and all in all, characters turn out pretty decently so far. I think that's pretty much everything. Pantheon, I'm set up with Brine King for stuns. Haven't really done anything else, I'll be honest. I like set it and forget it, you know. And then I took Tukahama for while stationary, gain damage resist, or damage reduction, because, you know, we're kind of stationary. So, yeah, I mean, Ascendancy was the one thing I forgot. I know I forgot something. We're good, I remembered it. This is my Ascendancy path for first 3. This is where the 4th one's going in Nature's Adrenaline. I'm already 1 out of 6 for the 4th one. It's only day 1, right? So, Nature's Reprisal gives you a Poison Prolif, which is really good for AoE. I haven't really noticed it because it doesn't have an effect on it or anything like that. But I have noticed things dying more often in an AoE, so that's pretty much what it's used for. Then we have Master Toxicist. For poisons you inflict during any flask effect, have 40% chance to deal 100% more damage, which is the big money. Once I get the bow, we'll have 100% chance, and we're popping off. Then I have Nature's Boon. For flasks, gain 3 charges every 3 seconds. And in case you're curious, I went Reprisal, Boon, and then 3rd point Toxicist. And 4th point is Adrenaline. Alrighty, that's going to bring us to the end of day 1. Let me know if you guys are playing along and how your character turned out. And, yeah, let me know your thoughts on Metamorph League down below. That's going to be all from me. As always, take care, gentlemen.